On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out what the greatest moment of X-Men the Animated Series is, how well Riverdale does at writing its own songs for its annual musical, and if Mike learns how to turn into animals from the host of Animorphing Time. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, the only show on the internet that reviews every single live-action television show based on a comic book, as well as some of the animated ones. My name is Cassie, and I will be the host for this episode. I have some friends here who are going to help me out. First of all, of course, there's Ryan.
Now, Cassie, I am in control of the weather tonight, and so what did you want the studio to be? Because I have it right now at a balmy 78 with light sprinkling coming down across us. A little bit of dew, a little bit of mist, if you will. A little bit of Sierra Mist. This is literal lemon lime Sierra Mist soda that is falling on us as rain. Is that cool?
That's actually rad, because at first I thought it was just that annoying mist, and I did want to bring that to you and question that, because, that's just causing issues. That's getting the mics, the gear wet. But now that I know it's fucking Sierra Mist...
Well, my mic is sparking like crazy. Also, I have thunder pulled up to 11, and so there's just going to be huge, loud, shocking booms that happen throughout the show. Is that cool with you?
I think that's rad. I think it keeps us on our toes. You never know when that thunder be rolling. Maybe it'll hit at a moment when I say something cool, and that'll be the best. Nope, it didn't work that time. God damn it. Also, that was turned up to 11.
Kaboom! Yeah. Our thunder's a little weak. Should I turn it up to 15? Hold on.
Go to turn it up to 15. More. Let's see what I can do.
Cassie, say something cool. Let's see what happens.
I pooped my pants.
Yeah, that's thunder as if it was a WWE wrestler. That's how we do it. Boom. You get in the cage. I'll get in the cage. I'm not going to get in a cage with thunder. The idea of thunder, that's going to be crazy.
Absolutely not. How do you fight thunder?
Thunder's just a noise.
Yeah. Bring that fucking noise, bro.
You fight it with lightning.
But they're buddies. They're like friends.
He splits his bud in two.
I do think that thunder and lightning are not enemies, but they are friends that solve crimes together.
Yeah, they're best of friends.
Yeah, I think that's what his weather has told us.
The crime of why isn't that dog scared? I'm going to solve it. Now it is.
We simply must know.
Let's call in our buddy Fireworks, and he'll finish the job.
That one will do it. Fuck those. That other voice you hear is Mike, and it should be noted, not the voice of Thunder. Absolutely.
Nobody thought it was. My voice is very different. Also, rude to my friend Caitlin. She interrupted first, which means she should be introduced first.
Damn,
I interrupted
did she?
last.
That is my sincerest apologies. We do have Caitlin here.
Hi. Yeah. Boom. That wasn't me either.
Boom.
Can you do your best impression of a tornado for me? Wow, that is a very gentle tornado as well.
I've never seen one in my life. So
Have you seen the movie Twister?
Yeah.
I actually haven't.
It picks up fucking cows and shit.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you've seen Smallville. It picked up
I have.
the entirety of Lana and her car. That can do some damage.
Somebody say.
Have I told you guys about the new game my 2.5-year-old daughter is playing?
No, what's that?
She has a mama bunny and a baby bunny, and they hold each other and they kiss each other because they love each other because it's the mama and the baby. And then she'll spin around and she will huck the baby bunny as far as she can, and then the mama bunny will be like, "No, my baby!" And then she'll spend the rest of the day trying to find that baby bunny, and the mama will be in deep stress the entire time.
Wow.
That she caused. There was no tornado. There was no thunder and lightning. She caused that stress to happen.
She gets the power of human drama.
She knows
already
how to
at such a young age.
Yeah, she knows how to write a story. She knows there's got to be something to keep the people watching.
The whole time she's singing, "Somebody save me."
She's gonna go far, Ryan. You just need to know that.
But she has to go
far
far
as
to
the
find
baby
that
gets chucked.
yeah, my baby bunny.
Have you missed Mike being in studio so you guys can't jump over each other like that?
No, I love how you two are the two Gladys Knights and we're the two Pips who just repeat the same thing in the background over each other. This is awesome. I'm glad that we're in fucking sequin tuxedos and we just keep doing this dance. Like
Stupid in stereo.
It feels good to have everyone back. It feels good to be talking about comic book TV shows, you guys. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead, Dead City, Riverdale, Secret Invasion. Mike's also going to be talking with the guys from Animorphing Time. But before we get to all of that, we have to figure out the best moment of X-Men the Animated Series.
It's when we all saw Rogue's ass. Done.
We are back for X-Taz. We're still saying goodbye to this beautiful show. And to do that, now we must decide what our favorite moment is of the entire series. An impossible task, some would say. But there's 4 people brave enough to try to take this on.
bravery, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
To show off our bravery.
True heroes. We deserve medals for this. We are the ones. But Ryan, what is a classic like X-Taz moment for you? Like, what are the ingredients needed? What's going to make it stand out?
This is such a good question, and I think that I'm going to forego like the memery and the making fun of, and like I want to go past that and be like, this hit me in the heart when we were watching the show as a joke, and now I'm crying, and fuck you three, and fuck the creators. I think that like there's something more. There's like 2 different kinds of iconic, and there's this iconic that's like it lived on forever because of memes, and there's iconic because it lived on forever in my feelings. And I think that I will typically lean towards the second one.
Okay, so you're going for more touches the heart.
I'm an emotional guy.
Okay, we all know this about you. That is honestly not what I expected. Mike, what's going to make a moment stand out for you?
The ones that made me go, I liked this as a 6-year-old. It's those moments as reassessing as an adult. You're like, how did this either keep my attention, or did I understand what it meant, or they made this show for kids? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of those moments, and I think that's what stands out.
Okay, I like in all these. Caitlin?
Okay, so I'm going opposite of Ryan. He said memeable, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. And then he was like bashing it. I was like, oh no, those are my moments. But it's the memeable moments that aren't just there because it was funny. It's because it like hit. Like, I mean, we know Wolverine and his love for Jean Grey. That is a touching moment and also a meme. So I think that is like a beautiful moment and an example. If it was one of those episodes where Wolverine just ran into, like, was in Japan and did nothing and jumped out of a tree, I don't know if that's the best moment, but you know what I mean?
There's a lot of those on the bracket. I think, remember those times where Wolverine was in a Japanese house with like very easy to open doors, and he still ran through a wall?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, buddy? What the fuck, man?
There's going to be so many good moments. We got to get this started because it's going to take us a while. Let's go ahead and go over to our bracket. We have number 1 seeded Beast Falls in Love. Ryan, tell me your feelings about this moment.
So I think, is this a blind lady?
This is Blind Lady.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to say her name's Alicia. Alicia Masters, is that?
That feels
That
like
might
you're
be
thinking of
something
the Fantastic Four, the Thing character.
Am I being blindest?
But yeah, Beast definitely has a beauty, right? And
Yes.
I think that when we talked to the Lewalds, that she said that this was one of her favorite episodes because it was a remake of City Lights, the Charlie Chaplin movie.
Man, and they made this for kids. What's crazy is not only does Beast fall in love because she's blind and she falls in love with him, but he's her doctor,
Yeah.
breaking so many ethics and practices right here.
Yeah.
Not okay. And then the handsome doctor, instead of being like, hey man, that's not okay where her doctor is, he's pissed because she's in love with Beast.
And it's also like, how often are they getting to hang out? Like, are they just scheduling appointments just to like get a vibe check with each other? Because that's going to get expensive.
Yeah, if you go to kp.com, because like, let's assume she's Kaiser Permanente, and like reason for visit, and he's like a fucking smooch out, make out fest, and maybe some touching.
My heart aches for her.
And they're like, cool, man, copay, $15. Let's do this.
Let's go for it. All right, that moment is going to go against our 16th seeded Wolverine fights Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Canadian super team.
Yeah. That they're like pissed at him for being in Canada. He used to be their friend. You have Vindicator, Snowbird, Puck, the twins.
I forgot about Puck.
I love Puck. Everyone loves Puck, right?
Everyone.
You can't forget about Puck. His symbol on his chest is a big pig.
But Vindicator, that name, right? Like,
And
You
you say
will
you're the
vindicate me.
hero? You're the good guy here?
I'm mad at you, and you will vindicate me. Like, he was clearly going to turn. And then
Yes.
Wolverine just fucking takes them all down.
Even though some of them have the shaman, some of them have the powers of a god. And Wolverine's still
Sasquatch?
like Sasquatch. And yeah, they all have good powers, but they're all so fucking dumb and Canadian that they can't take out Wolverine.
Now, do you guys remember how many good quips does he have in this? Is there some good Canada puns, we think, or just...
Based on watching every episode of this show, I would say 0, Cassie. I would say he has literally 0 good quips.
Perfect. That tracks. All right, between these two, I need to know what you guys are feeling. Mike, I'll start with you. Beast Falls in Love versus Wolverine Fights Alpha Flight.
Wolverine Fee Alpha Flight for me.
Oh, wow. 16 seed for Mike. Ryan, where are you going?
Oh, I shuffled these seeds, by the way, so they're all random. You
Yeah,
mean the beast?
nobody's number one seed would be Beast Falling in Love.
Honestly, I thought it was
Walls.
insane, but...
That's true.
Beast falls in love for me, Cassie.
All right, Caitlin.
Geez, this is a hard one, but I do think I'm going to have to go with the upset of Wolverine fights the Canadians.
Okay. The Canadians are pushing it through. That is moving on our next bracket. We have, first of all, 8-seeded Rogue puts her boyfriend in a coma. That classic situation.
I mean,
Which we got to see multiple times.
Right. That moment was so powerful. You saw it 1,000 times in this series, and then it made it into live action. Like,
We're
Anna Paquin had to relive it.
Anna Paquin just watched the animated episode of her doing this.
This episode I remember standing out because all the ones where we got backstories on them, most of them were good. Rogue's especially stood out, and the fact that we just got to see her put that homie straight in a coma. And
Well, one good thing about the Rogue backstory is that it was not about Wolverine.
yeah, that always
Yeah, that
helps.
was nice.
And number 2, we got to hear her, like, she put a guy in a coma, and she was like, oh my God, you're like a frog that's like a horny toad in the church with a rocking chair, with a cat tail, with a gumbo, with a lipstick, with a rogue, with a gambit, with a horny toad, with a frog.
I can't believe
That's
you
a classic
memorized
line of dialogue.
this much of X-Taz, Ryan. It's insane.
Yeah.
All right, that moment's going against our next one, which is going to be Jubilee tells her story. Mike, explain this one to me.
I mean, who could forget Jubilee? Oh, shit. I actually did just remember her telling her story. I thought you meant like how she became like, got in one little fight. My adopted parents got scared, saying, you're moving to Professor Xavier in Westchester, New York. She and these kids who somehow she is the only adult in the room. She
Did you
takes
guys
them to
watch
the
Mike that
caves.
entire time trying to figure out what the fuck was going on?
She takes them to these caves and then tells such a batshit shitty story to distract them instead of trying to find oxygen.
So
They're like,
she's getting high, right?
Yeah, she's dying from the lack of air. And she's just like, and Wolverine was Hulk, but real hot in the eyes of Caitlin and Cassie.
But this episode, of course, stands out to us because so many beefy boys.
the animation was weird.
By weird, do you mean absolutely beautiful?
Perfect in
Yeah.
every single way. Weird.
But I don't know how is this one like this one to me is a classic because it was so insane from premise to execution to watching it. But is this is one of the moments that isn't stacking well for you guys because you're going for heart moments, and this feels more memeable. So
I'm a rogue guy.
I don't even think it's memeable. It is. People who've watched this whole show forget this episode happened.
that's insane.
I will not forget this one.
We'll never forget. I guess let's go ahead and move on to voting then. Mike, we got Rogue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rogue putting Cody into a coma.
All right, Ryan, I'm guessing that's where you're going to.
Yeah, because I'm not looking for what fits perfectly into my spank bank. I just want the greatest TV moment.
Oh, now all of a sudden you're saying that, but hold on, wait a little bit in this bracket. I'm fucking sure.
Cassie, I don't know what to as what, therefore you're referring.
Objection.
Sustained.
Caitlin, it doesn't matter, but I just need to know what you would have voted for.
God, that cave story was so good, but I guess putting a boy in a coma, it's pretty funny.
Wow,
Not
okay.
funny. It was.
No, yeah, she's
fucking
a feminist
hysterical.
hero.
It was mentioned so many fucking times. We saw it so many times.
It
Has
is.
to be iconic.
Cody.
All right, our next moment, we got seated at number 4, which is the Morlocks Get a Christmas.
Ah,
So important for everyone to get a Christmas. Caitlin, that kind
I
of
think that-
emotion.
Yeah, Caitlin, did we do this show with somebody else, right? Was it Keith or
I can't tell you.
someone? Yeah, I don't remember either. But it was a very important moment.
It was indeed, and that guest was we were so grateful that they were here for us. But this one sticks out because it was a holiday episode, and they were like, it was another time that Jubilee was in the cave. Was this the same time where Jubilee tells the story?
She loves caves.
No,
Yeah.
she just loves. She's like shopping, and then there's fights, and then she ends up giving the present
Yes.
she shopped to the Morlocks.
Yes.
And Grinchy Jubilee's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
I was going to say, this sounds like a touching moment. How touching was it for you guys? Is this one
It was like a Charlie Brown tree, too.
beautiful?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they're sewer
touching.
people.
That
They eat poop and they drink pee.
And Ryan's starting a new rap.
I know. All right, that is going against our next moment, which is Bishop comes to Westchester.
Oh, come on. Wow, wow, wow.
So is this specifically his stinger every time he enters? Can this kind of go
Yeah.
across all?
Like he'll walk into
pretty
one
cool.
alley and then leave and then go down to another. And like every time he goes down an alley, he's like, wow, wow, wow. It's just an Aerosmith song at all times.
And is it canon that he's actually doing it? Because we never see his mouth. It kind of always starts at like his boots.
Right. I assume it's his ringtone, and he's just constantly ignoring calls, so his sweet ringtone plays out.
All right, Mike, I'm
It's
going
his
to
hit clip.
go to you first. Morlock's Christmas versus Bishop's Stinger. Which one's going?
I am a Morlock lover and a Jubilee defender normally, but come on, nothing can beat. Wow, wow, wow.
It's beautiful. Caitlin, where are you going?
As much as Jubilee giving a bunch of presents to the Morlocks, I'm going to have to go with the Stinger as well.
All right, Ryan,
As
it
much
doesn't
as-
matter, but which one would you go for?
I'm going for Jubilee, Cassie, because I'm not
Wow.
a fucking animal.
Okay. Well, no, it's the Stinger. And Mike, can I hear it one more time, please?
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes.
That is not the song at all,
That's
but
it.
now that is the song in everybody's head.
All right, next bracket, we got our 5th seeded, which is Jean sacrifices herself to stop the Phoenix. Now, this was a whole series, essentially. We had a whole little mini segment to get to this moment, which seems big. Mike, how much does this stand out, especially from when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah, when you're a kid, you didn't know your heroes could die. Like, X-Men taught me that. The one who trips the most, because she's the most powerful, will eventually die to save everybody else. Yeah, burned into your brain, and to the point that movies keep trying to recreate its power and cannot hold a candle to what the cartoon did.
Yeah. Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, it was fun. She was like, oh, I tripped into this again. This ghost fire bird Phoenix. Cool.
Do you have Phoenix Force and Snap yet, Ryan?
I do.
That's pretty boss.
I would just
I
like
don't
to-
use it, though. I made new decks around it. I don't really use it.
I just put it in my death deck.
We're only like 20 minutes in. I'm surprised that you guys made it 20 minutes from being reunited to get
Sorry,
snapped.
there's not a Morlock Christmas card.
All right, our next moment, we got Gambit and Rogue kiss.
So here we go. Now we have emotions. Rogue loses her powers. Gambit can finally fucking put the Mac down on. He puts the Mac down on. He puts the smack down on. This is where our hearts are beating out of our chest. This is the number one moment.
So this is... They kiss a few times.
This is the story of a girl.
who lost her powers and kissed a dirty girl. Wait.
Yeah,
she's not a
no,
girl.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. No, you did it.
Riffing, being Weird Al off the top of your head right away is hard, okay?
But
this is not the time where he thinks he's kissing her because she kissed him,
But
and it was morph.
It turns out he's kissing a pumpkin.
That it's not that time?
No, it's not that time. No, she loses her powers, and they get to kiss.
And you're saying
That's
your
pretty
heart
magical.
beat because you were happy about this, and you didn't want to, like, throw up instantly that this was fucking happening.
It's Gambit.
It's fucking Gambit, bruh. I'm going to take this to a vote. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Between
Phoenix
and Gambit
Gene
and
sacrificing himself.
Between Phoenix.
Phoenix and Gambit and Rogue kissing, which nasty. What are you going for?
I think Jean sacrificing herself is such a big, important moment. But goddamn, what makes the X-Men machine run is people smooching.
I
vote
gotta
is for
say-
Gambit and Rogue.
Rogue kisses Gambit, and Gambit tastes like cigarettes and charm.
Just
And I have to say
straight
that
gumbo.
that means that, Mike, you know what it's like to kiss me. I feel like
Yes.
they don't. Because when you kiss me, it's cigarettes and charm.
I'm the Rogue to your Gambit.
Yeah, absolutely you are. Absolutely you are.
And that makes them as nervous as a cat room full of rocking chairs.
It absolutely does. I think that means I probably know where Ryan's going. So, Caitlin, I'm going to ask, what are you voting for?
Yo, beans. Definitely not Gambit.
You going Phoenix?
Yeah.
Like a phoenix. Ryan, where are you going?
I'm obviously going Phoenix. Mike is a disgusting, borderline homeless idiot.
That really took a
hoodwinked.
turn. I don't know if he had to hit it that hard, but he did. All right, so that then means our next bracket,
Battle.
our next
God damn it. How many years? How many years, Cassie, without learning the terminology? This whole thing is a bracket.
yeah, and there's like mini brackets within the bracket. All right,
Those are rounds.
No,
And this is a battle.
there are mini brackets within a big bracket. But you know what? I'll listen to that. I'll take another week. Maybe in this next week I'll learn how a bracket works. And
That whole battle right there, though, that was a battle. Mike versus Cassie in terminology. And I think Cassie won.
What?
For sure.
yeah, thank you, Ryan. It's so rare to have him on my side. It feels so good. We are running out of time though, you guys, so I am going to cut this whole bracket in half. We're going to pause it. We're going to continue the rest next week with our next, how many battles is that? 8?
4 more until we get to the next round, and then there's 4, and then so on.
And then so
That's a lot
on.
of math right there, Cassie.
Whew, it was too much for me, clearly. So that's going to be next week. But before we get to all of that, I do have some time to talk about a website. And Mike, I believe you were talking about a big website plan. You want to share that with us?
I hope it's
Yeah.
math.com where we learn about math.
Fuck that website, bro.
Should I not do that one? Because that is what fine. Then it's bratpack.net. And the tagline is, do you have dumbass friends who still don't know how brackets work, even though it's how all of pop culture runs these days? And we just break down. It's a lot of PowerPoints, a lot of interactive videos and demos. And we show you how to show your dumbass friends how a fucking bracket works.
This would have been nice to have a while ago.
Yeah.
Not-
it sounds
Well,
a-
that's why I'm making it.
Well, I feel like this is like it's past its time. Like we needed this a long time ago. Like we've already learned
You're-
how to like suffer.
You clearly haven't. Well, Caitlin, you might have. I don't know.
Cassie said
Cassie still
before the
calls a
bracket,
fight a bracket.
before the bracket, Cassie said, and I quote, "Is this serpentine? Like, what the fuck are we doing here?"
Listen, not everybody runs their life on bracket, okay? I wasn't
Idiots
born in
don't.
bracket.
Yeah.
So I guess
Okay, that's my next tattoo. Born in bracket, but in like 2000s hardcore style font.
Raised by fire, born by bracket.
This clearly is an important website, and I personally need it. So I'm going to send you over to my friend cybersprout.net because they're going to help you make this website. Mike, they offer so much. They offer premium hosting that's specifically built for WordPress. They also handle security maintenance, backup, speed optimization. They'll migrate your website for free. They focus on collaboration, goal-driven design, and they also understand brackets, which is going to be huge for you. Cybersprout.net, your partner for a digital world. Coming up next, it's the pull list. We are back for the pull list where we talk about all the other shows we watched this week. First show starting it off is The Walking Dead, Dead City. On episode 3 of The Walking Dead, Dead City, Jenny is on her way to Manhattan. Pearlie is hunting down Negan. Negan and Maggie are trauma bonding. But what we need to focus on is that Crow is using the turkey float from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade to lure in walkers. Taste buds, I ask you, what float would you take to lure in walkers?
Elmo.
Charlie Brown and his big dumb head.
What was that one where like Spider-Man sort of deflated and then Charlie Brown's head like went right into his asshole? Do you guys remember that picture?
I was trying to remember which one ate ass, because that is the correct answer.
I don't think it was Charlie Brown, because come on, how much more trauma can that kid take in? That fucking bald-headed idiot.
For some reason, I feel like it was Elmo eating Spider-Man's ass, but that also doesn't sound right.
That's just what Cassie's dreams are made of.
For some reason, and hear me out, I don't know where I'm getting this. I'm picturing it.
His name is Tickle Me Elmo, and you're like automatically it's a butthole thing.
It's a butthole thing. It absolutely is.
Is that why all 17 of your bumper stickers, Cassie, say it's a butthole thing?
Yeah. Specifically to reference that. And I do need 17.
One for each of your assholes.
Some say too many assholes. I say not enough. The Walking Dead Dead City is Sundays on AMC. Our next show is Riverdale.
This week's episode of Riverdale is the semi-annual musical episode. And instead of having the characters perform a musical, but also live in one, like they did for Heathers, Hedwig, and Carrie, this time the show is writing its own original songs. Ooh. The musical, about teenagers writing a musical about teenagers writing a musical, also features Kevin Keller being told his parents' divorce is not his fault, Betty and Veronica's love for each other being more than how much they love Boyz. And Archie is still trying to figure out if he wants to do basketball or poetry. Because as Riverdale law says, you can only do one. Taste buds, I ask you this. Well, what if you ask me how the original music compares to the music they've used in the past?
Hey, Ryan?
Yes, Mike.
How does the original music compare to the music they've used in the past?
You know what? If I told you a C-, aren't you kind of impressed by that? I mean, these are
It is pretty impressive.
3 classic musicals, and it was not great, and it was like very musical. It was like, hey, I'm brushing my teeth right now when I've never brushed my teeth harder than before. But it was still kind of good.
I love that song.
I'm going to sing it every morning when I brush my teeth. Was there?
Is it going to sound like the B-52s?
Yeah. That's the only way I know how to sing.
That's if you want to write a song real quick, just be like, hey, there's a great white shark, and my leg is getting bitten by it.
The kids will go gaga.
And the kids love it.
Was there a musical that stood out to you, a banger of one, or were they all just kind of mediocre?
Do you want me to ruin my moment of the week, Cassie?
Nope. Not if you got more to talk about.
There was one where like, okay, so the whole thing is like Archie the musical, right? And they're all acting like they are in the comic book, where like every girl's in love with Archie, and then every time the music stops, they're like, man, fuck that ginger bitch. He's a moron idiot. But then when the music starts again, they're like, I love Archie. You love Archie. We love Archie. Let's fall in love. And then it cuts again. And that part was pretty great. But there's one song where Archie is at Pop's at the diner, at the table, or at the bar that you sit at. And he's like, my name is Archie. And here I am. And then he just sits down. Like, that was it. There was a 12-second song, and that was the best song.
That's what I expect from Riverdale. I'm so glad they did it. That was your moment of the week?
No, of course not. My moment of the week is Archie wants to quit the play, the musical. And Reggie, no, not Reggie. Who's the Blossom? The Cheryl's brother?
The new Jason.
Jason.
Is Joshua?
It's Jason. Jason wants to take over for Archie. So in order to prove himself, they both start running next to each other, and then they both start racing each other, and then they both start singing to prove... And nobody's out there. Nobody's watching them. Just the two of them start singing to see who is the loudest singer, and then after that, they both take off their shirts. And then they just run shirtless singing to nobody. That's my moment of the week, Cassie.
Wow.
These wonderful
beautiful.
ginger idiots.
Ryan, this episode sounds absolutely delightful. Is it one that's worth going back to watch, or is it one that's good to hear about secondhand?
Oh man, I think that your time is so precious.
Yeah.
So absolutely do not watch this. That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane.
Ryan does the work for all of us, and I thank you for that.
God, the real hero again. Riverdale's Wednesdays on the CW. Our last show of the week is Secret Invasion.
In the third episode of Secret Invasion, Fury and his wife argue about whether or not it's messed up that he bailed on her for years right after he unblipped, which disappeared him for years. Meanwhile, Gravik's trying to start World War III by having a sub attack a plane. Maybe next episode, he'll have a train attack a bus. Taste buds ask you this. Are the tensions and mysteries deepening at our halfway point in the show? Or does this episode seem like kind of a step back from the first two?
A step back from the first two would be, this is the worst show of all time. I thought this was the best episode of the three. Am I wrong?
Oh, no. I thought this was bad. I don't know if it's because I've already lost so much steam that it's hard for it to even have like a win for me. But it's like, it's dragging. It was so hard to keep my attention for this whole episode.
I like the first two episodes a lot. Oh. And
so, Mike, just to fill you in, we did not.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Love that for you guys. I don't know. It felt, at least it's nowhere like, I like spy shit. It's not Winter Soldier level at all, but I don't know. It's a different flavor than Marvel has been in a while. What I'm getting sick of is Fury feels like he's doing an impression of Nick Fury, and him and Talos being like, and how could I trust you? Their little back and forth will they, won't they bullshit is getting really tired.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels like the show is in love with it and thinks them having the same conversation is beautiful.
Well, I think that's the whole thing was pitched on Talos and Fury energy, right? Like that's their back and forth will be wonderful. In this episode, we found out that Nick Fury has done nothing ever. Mm-hmm. It was all Skrull spies that like did all of the work for him, and so I think there's an obvious ending for this show.
He's going to be a Skrull.
He's going to be a Skrull the whole time.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Not the whole time. Not like when I'm in Robert Downey Jr.'s apartment, that wasn't me as a Skrull. But at a certain point, I became a Skrull, and that's why I've been relying on everybody.
Because real Nick Fury
dead
was never left space.
Because in Marvel lore, Nick Fury is essentially akin to Steve Rogers in that, like, I am a fucking super soldier.
Right.
And so they could be playing with that and saying, like, well, Nick Fury is a fucking moron. Although it feels weird to say, we're going to cast this classically white character as a black dude and then have the black dude be a moron. So I think Skrull.
He hasn't been a moron the whole time, right? Like, it's pretending like they've had a 20-year plan is bad shit. They have not. They never thought they'd get this far. Were you... Two questions, I guess. Were you taken off guard that Gaia died, and also she didn't really die, right?
I don't. Number one, she died, and I was like, she's not dead. Number two, even if she died, I don't feel like I have enough investment in the character for it to affect me at all. So I was like, no matter what, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's. Let me answer both questions, Mike, with 4 words. I don't give a fuck. But like, what if Gaia was like, oh, I got shot in the leg, and I'm fine, but I will turn into a Skrull to trick the person who killed me.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, do Skrulls never Skrull each other? Like, nobody's ever done that, so you didn't think she could do that?
That's the number 1 song on Skrull Radio is
Skrullex.
Do Skrulls never Skrull each other? DJ'd by Skrullex.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in every Scream movie, I'm like, if my friends are dead, I'm putting their blood all over me and pretending to be dead. Because there's always 2 killers, and they are not checking in with each other of who killed who.
Right. Would you like the attack on Normandy? Right away, I'm shooting myself in the leg, and I'm lying down on the beach, and I'm just like, I'm clean. Like, nobody attack me, please.
Got a nice little nappy out of it too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take a little nap. I shot myself in the leg. Now I can take a nap.
And then you wrote the best-selling book, My Nap in Normandy.
For the first 2 episodes, I have talked great things over the villain, Gravik.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This episode was insane. He is the worst. He went from one of the best to one of the worst villains. He sees a painting and he's like, look at that. You can live in oil or you can live in blood. I want blood. I want blood. And then top that off by saying, what is this? An espresso, a little bit of coffee. I'm going to pour so much sugar into this cup that you're going to be intimidated by me forever. Like, this is now a bad villain.
Ryan, that moment made me wonder, is he a fly? Like, why is he like so much sugar? That is so much sugar in such a tiny little coffee cup. Like,
is he from the planet that the original Men in Black people attacked? Does he like sugar water?
That's all I was thinking.
But like,
is there something about the Skrulls liking candy? Well, it's because I'm a bug. I'm wearing an Egger suit. Is there something? The other Skrulls, haven't we seen Talos eating a bunch of candy? Are they trying to do a weird thing where the Skrulls fucking love sugar?
Yes, but it's not badass though.
Well.
No,
I like a little espresso with my sugar. Then, damn. Oh,
it was the first two. He seems intimidating and badass and a man with a plan. Kill Talos, because he doesn't seem like I'm just out for vengeance of the guy who I think betrayed our ideals. He seems to have a plan. That's what the show wants us to think.
Yeah,
you would kill Talos.
Also, like, am I the only one that doesn't understand why Talos would have been a good leader if he's the one? Like, his major flaw is that he cares too much and like.
His weakness is that he cares too much? Are you saying that he's the Papa Roach?
Because they are all bugs. I think he used to be a badass, but now his scars remind him that his past is real. And that's
the secret invasion, we found it.
Let's be honest, and like all praise to our lords and saviors, Paul F. Tompkins and Drew Tarver, but you can't just go around saying like, do not mention my Skrull daughter. if you talk about my Skrull daughter.
Yeah, that flip of like, well, I'm choking you and all these people could kill me. What? You'd all die. What is the point? Yeah, this episode was not good.
That he choked too. Can we just talk about that? He did a weird chokey. Am I just like
Gravik did or Talos?
Talos when he choked Gravik. I was like, why? What? I was like, this is a weird choke. This is a weird.
You know what?
Throats are different.
It was in a weird way where like because like in that moment, which was an actual cool moment, right? Talos was there. He made a move, and then a bunch, like 30 Graviks, stood up. This entire restaurant is full of Graviks. That was kind of cool. But then he was able to stab him in the hand and choke him. And he just did it in such a weird way where all the rest of the Graviks were like, oh, that's fine. That's not a threat at all.
I feel like it would have been more effective if he didn't like choke with one hand, stab with another. If he just stabbed with one hand, like held onto the shoulder or something.
What is the Skrull way of life?
I don't
Skrull
know.
way of life is stab with one hand, choke with another.
That's true.
Did you guys see John Wick Chapter 4?
Yes.
No.
You did?
I did.
Okay. So, Caitlin, do you remember the guy with the dog?
Yes.
Do you remember what show the guy with the dog was from?
Are you talking about Keanu Reeves? Are you talking? There's a lot of dogs in here, Ryan.
Winona Earp.
He was from Winona Earp. He died early on, like the second season.
Dolls.
He gets stabbed in the hand, and he is given a choice. Do you pull it out the weak way or the manly way?
Yep.
And Dolls in Chapter 4 decides the manly way, which is not to pull the knife or not to pull the hand up above the blade, but to pull the hand out from the blade. And that's what Gravik does
and
here.
John Wick Chapter 4 too. You're right. All of them.
And I think they are very connected, the John Wick movies and Secret Invasion, because in one world everybody's a Skrull, and the other everybody's an assassin.
Man, I like
right there.
This show is way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's so bad. They also go so far where I was like, I'm trying to watch this TV show and I'm trying to like it. Then Talos has to go and insult like dogs and like why people like dogs. And I was like,
that was a weird poll.
This is uncalled for. Why would you do this show? Like, I'm already fighting myself to watch this, and then you're going to tell me the main character doesn't like dogs either?
Well, he's a lizard person. Caitlin.
He's a fucking roach.
Did you guys see that lady that was on that plane that said that there was lizard people in the back of the plane?
No.
Okay. You should probably go on Reddit soon. She said that somebody sitting next to her was closing their eyes in the wrong way. Like left to right instead of up and down.
That's awesome.
And they kicked her off the plane.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And not the lizard person?
That was the
Man,
best
this is what's
episode
wrong
of
with
Secret
America
Invasion
today.
this week.
That was your moment of the week?
Yeah. No, but honestly, my moment of the week is a opposite moment of the week, a terrible moment of the week, which is the espresso part. Like, you've got to be like, I've seen so many badasses act like badasses in movies and TV before, and to pour too much sugar into your cup, bro, is not badass at all. Get
Just
fucked.
diabetes.
Just diabetes.
Mike, what's your moment of the week?
It is the doll's move from John Wick Chapter 4. It skeeved me out, and I was like, oh, that was effective in a way I think they meant it to be,
They did something.
which was rare for this episode.
Caitlin, your moment of the week?
My moment of the week is when it's like a bad moment of the week because I feel like there's no good ones here.
Will allow.
The oil painting moment. Mike, that one, like, completely, like, I was already turned off from the show. That one was like, this is a bullshit show. Because
With blood?
What?
Blood. We wanted to run with blood, not oil. Blood.
Yes. That whole moment, because I feel like he was such a great, he was like growing to be a good villain. And then it's like, you're a cartoon character. There's no
This is it.
redeeming fact for you. You're not a person. You're just.
I thought the first two episodes were so great in building up him, and it was all deflated on him. Yeah. Also, can we talk about? I think that last week's podcast we talked about, like, so the wife does he know that she's a Skrull? He does know that she's a Skrull.
Yeah.
But she's like, the wife is like, you left me with the blip, totally not your fault, and then you went to space for a long time, totally your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy the Earth with those Skrulls. No, that's it. Fuck you. I'm going to destroy this Earth.
That's not why, because she said last week, I became who I was before I met you. So I think she was always a little...
A terrorist.
Terroristy.
Her name is Terroristy.
He knew she was a
Fury.
Skrull. He didn't know she's fully working for Gravik.
Right. That seems bad.
Which
It
is-
seems like she's bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when she did get into a vault and she was like, I need to talk to Gravik, I think that was like, oh, yeah, she's kind of probably bad.
Next time you guys are in a vault, just say, I need to talk to Gravik, and watch the bank employee just be like, I don't know what to do here.
What? I don't-
Who the
What is
fuck
happening?
is that?
How did you get in the air?
3 times a week, kids come in here and say that to me now.
Because of how important Secret Invasion is to teenagers'
Yeah.
lives.
It's all they're talking about. I'm sure you
It's
guys
got all the riz.
already know, but it's a Wednesdays on Disney Plus. That is it for the pull list. Mike, we're now going to go to your interview with Anamorphin Time. Can you give us a little teaser for that?
Yeah, I sat down a while back with Tyler and Nate from Anamorphin Time, which is a defunct show, but started blowing up even more because their Twitter, they're very active on social media, and you guys, the Anamorph stands, they're out there. I thought I was alone, and they opened me up to a whole wide culture, and then we talked about how crazy it is that these weird, fucked up war crimes kids booked have gotten so big for weirdo adults, and it was a great time.
It sounds great. Let's go ahead and go to that right now.
Welcome to the Crossover, Crisis on Infinite Pods, the segment where we introduce you to other podcaster types doing cool things in the wide world of nerddom. Today's guest time, the defunct podcast and active Twitter that breaks down the children's book series about war from the 90s, the Animorphs. Welcome, Nate and Tyler. How you guys doing today?
Feeling very defunct.
Hello.
I'm feeling super defunct today.
I have no funked.
No funked. In a defunct. I couldn't. I was like, this word doesn't feel like the right word, but I didn't know how to just say done.
It's done.
Finished.
It's
completed.
done.
Dead.
Completed.
In the ground.
I mean, we're still alive. I think
Yeah.
that's the
You're
kind of
still
key part.
alive.
We've taken K.A. Applegate out back and shot her in the back of the head, Old Yeller style, because she was wiling out.
Oh no, she was one of the good ones.
Yeah, that's grim, Tyler.
Oh, okay. It was like the of Mice and Men. She.
That one's worse.
Oh.
That's a worse analogy.
God damn it.
So let's dig into it. What for because you can time it's out there wherever people get their podcasts. What was the show?
Yeah, so Nate and I came together 2019. We're like, let's work on a thing. So what was our thing? We thought, surely no one's ever made a podcast about the Animorphs. I grew up reading Animorphs. Nate had never read the Animorphs. So we thought, why don't we read these books and talk about them in an entertaining kind of way? And little did we know, there's like 200 Animorphs podcasts. But, that was our thing. We sort of went a little deeper into them than probably we should have, and then we started bringing on guests, different Animorphs fans every episode to help us talk about the books. And so we just slogged our way. Well, it's not really a slog, but it was fun.
Yeah, we were a vector for getting fans on to talk about the thing they liked.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were just there to listen, to chat over the books with people that have just lived with the books for all of their adult life. Except for me. I didn't know. I was new.
Right. I think you knew that there were brain slugs and you knew the covers. If I'm remembering correctly.
I knew there were brain slugs. I knew that there were the covers, and I knew from like prior conversations of people saying like, "Yeah, man, these things are messed up and nasty. They're sick. They explode children." I'm like, "Whoa, I should find out what Animorphs is."
Not just children, disabled children.
Yeah, it's true. They do melt those people.
Which, in terms of representation, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Although it's bad. No, I don't know.
Strong
everybody.
statements.
I can't make that argument.
We did. I think we did make that
We
argument.
did, yeah. But we did it long. We did it, 2.5, 3 years we did that?
Yeah, we went through all of COVID.
We did all of those books. We've covered all the weird books. We've done it all. And then we put it to rest.
Yep.
But I still like to post, so I still tweet.
Yeah,
Animorphs
I was
stuff.
surprised because I found you via Twitter, and I like Animorphs, and I run Pop Filter's stuff, and so I was like, hell yeah, we're following them. And so when I looked into it, I was like, wait, it's done? But you're more active on Twitter than most active podcasts are, which I applaud you.
I don't have much of a life. And being online, making tweets online is a lot more fun than facing anything in my real or professional life. So I just do that.
Heck
Wow,
yeah.
I should kill myself. That's really sad.
No,
let's not
because
do that.
we've shifted our talents over to a newer project, which is the Bruce Campbell podcast.
Yeah, we're working on something little weirder now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let's put a stick on Animorphs for a second, and then we'll talk about the new stuff for sure. Because I think people should continue to follow you guys in your creative endeavors. Let's talk about your personal nerd origin stories. Nate, what birthed you into the world of nerddom?
I mean, like, I was a nerd before I learned about Animorphs when I was like 36. Yeah, I mean, like, I was a rural nerd, right? Where I was like stuck in a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere with no friends. So, hey, guess what's cool? Like video games and TV and movies. That's where you should spend all your free time. Yeah, and like, so my origin story was just like dealing with the isolation of farm living in Melrose, Oregon, and like just outside of Roseburg. And so yeah, I watched a lot of movies, played a lot of video games over and over. Like I was one of those kids that would just play the same thing over and over and over again. And here I am today, a nerdy adult who definitely doesn't still play video games all the time.
What were your properties? What cracked you open to nerdy shit?
Properties? I mean, like the funny thing about Animorphing Time is that there is like this subtle implication that has to do with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, that is
Right?
confusing.
Like, it's very confusing because we don't talk about it. But
we never will.
But like, yeah, I was a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers kid, totally. That wasn't the thing that cracked me open though. I think the thing that really got me was Final Fantasy. I'm a Final Fantasy guy. I don't know how else to describe myself, but I'm into that series.
Well, you do talk about Bulk and Skull. That is the one Power Rangers reference I got by listening to a smattering of episodes.
Yeah, Bulk and Skull underrepresented
Because we are Bulk and Skull. I mean, sorry.
No, we're both bulk. Skull is skinny. Because you could see his skull. That was the whole deal.
That's his whole deal?
And he's like rough too, right?
Okay, we're Finster and Babu.
Yes.
If we're going to get into Power Rangers
That's
stuff.
closer.
Oh, no.
Just once, I
Has
want
a
to be a
deeper
Goldar,
cut.
though.
Yeah, we could both do a pretty good Goldar. Isn't that right, Nate?
Yeah,
we can both talk like Goldar.
That's pretty good. No, don't throw that on me.
And then Tyler, what was yours?
My similar story. it sort of dealt with the isolation of having two drug addict abusive parents. So I would leave the house whenever I could. And mostly leaving that house was walking to a comic book store in Roseburg, Oregon called Heroes Haven. Still open, still owned by the same virgin and his parents. Although they might be dead. I think COVID probably got them. So I would schlep down there with my friends. I would save my money to buy any comic book or action figure I could. And then at night, when it was dark and I was scared and I had no escape, I would just watch movies, The Simpsons, and TV shows. So Simpsons was big for me, but comic books, action figures, Power Rangers, all that was big. That busted me open, as you could say.
Gross.
Yeah.
I mean, we initially like bonded over Simpsons, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I think like the first like kind of goofs I threw at you were like Simpsons goofs.
And I threw them goofs right back.
It's gross.
And now we're
Yeah, it's
adult
just
men who live
goof
together
throwers.
making podcasts.
That's adorable. The dream to live with your podcast co-hosts.
Yeah, it's a dream.
It's yeah.
Definitely not because of economic circumstances.
How old were you guys when you met?
We were in 10th grade. We met in,
Yeah.
wasn't it like a science class, like biology?
It was one of those. I remember like computer lab situations.
We also bonded over U.S. history class.
Yeah, that was good.
Because we both enjoyed Schindler's List when the teacher showed it to us.
We were cracking wise at Schindler's List, and she did not appreciate that
Well,
because we were teenagers.
yeah, we were
who did not-
16 years old doing edgy comedy in U.S. history.
You can't really internalize the horrors of death when you're
So
16.
for the Animorphs, so Tyler, you pitched Nate. You're like, here's what we should do. Did you have to sell them on read these children's books?
No, because they're kids' books. They're like really easy to do. Because I'll speak for myself, maybe not so much Nate. I don't like to do a lot of work, and rereading books I had already read and talking about things I already cared about and liked, that was easy for me. And Nate was just like, yeah, whatever. I think Nate just wanted to work on something creative, and I also wanted to do that as well. So it's like, well, why not? Why don't we just pick something and go with it? So let's do that.
I wanted to know more about Animorphs. I think that there was something there that I didn't figure out. You know, like I think there's this. If you're outside of Animorphs, there's this kind of cultural mystery box about like what's going on with the covers.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Yeah, and like growing up, I had a group of friends. We all lived near each other. Sorry, Nate, you couldn't be near us. And we would all like pass around these Animorphs books. So it was a huge thing for
I
us.
had my older sister. We would talk about them, but yeah, I was not a kid with a lot of friends. So
I don't think any of us were.
yeah, is that a through line of all the Animorphs fans you've met? Is there kids who did not have a lot of friends?
They either didn't have friends or they didn't know anyone else who knew about these books or anything like that. And one of the great prides of doing Animorphin Time, our defunct podcast, as you put it, was that I got to meet a lot of other people who had read these books, and I got to help connect these people to each other. We've created a weird network of like angry Animorphs weirdos. And frankly, one day I'm going to hit the button and we're going to start a real change in the country.
Is there a tenor of anger in the Animorphs fandom that doesn't exist as much in the fandom that should not be named now, or what other kids' books?
I mean,
Chronicles of
yeah,
Narnia.
we're all underdog weirdos, those of us who grew up liking Animorphs. There's a reason we kept reading those books because the depression, the body dysmorphia, like all that stuff, the trauma, there's a reason a lot of that like resonated with us kids. Like speaking for myself, I came from a very traumatic, awful home. So seeing myself represented in a book, like someone experiencing that and overcoming it, like that was pretty powerful, pretty important. And I think that's a big through line for a lot of adult Animorphs
That's
fans.
awesome. You know, obviously not awesome to have such tragic bullshit have to happen to you as a kid, but
No,
to
it was
have
pretty
that-
cool. Like I can laugh at it now.
Right.
Dude, that was sick.
It was so funny when my dad pulled all of his teeth out with pliers right in front of me. That was so cool.
Twisted.
Dads don't
But,
do
I
that.
mean-
Let's not do that.
I mean, yeah, I agree. You shouldn't do that. But, I think the one thing that I appreciate as Animorphs, as an adult reader, right? Like, I didn't read these when I might have, say, like, needed them, say. But like the thing is, like an adult approaching it, like you realize like, oh, there's no sugar coating here. It directly addresses like real feelings that everyone experiences, both children and adults, and it addresses them. Whereas like I think a lot of like young adult books, let's call them, because they're not really children young adult books, right? Like they kind of overemphasize the allegory-ness of them, to the point where like it doesn't feel as personal as like, here is this bird boy who's very depressed. He's experiencing real depression.
Makes total sense. How many people it feels like Tobias is their connected character, and he's trapped, and then is free in his trapdom. He just switches what traps he's in, but at least it's a trap he chose.
Yeah, I think like we're both Tobias boys.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people throughout the entire series like connected with different people. I think that like everyone got covered in some way or another. Like, all 5 of the Animorph crew.
And honestly, I don't know if I identify with Tobias anymore, because at least his father left.
Christ.
Mine just stuck around. No, I won't make this about my dad, but yeah, I think Nate's exactly right. We met all the stars. We met them all.
Yeah, and like that's the strength of the series. Like all 5 of these characters, resonate, especially to like each person can pick their own and identify with their favorite and kind of get something out of that, right?
Right.
And I think
how long before you were bought in? Did it take a few before you were like, oh, I get this?
Yeah, I mean, like definitely the first book, it was very much like, oh, cool, we're learning about a lizard, right? And like I felt like I had to dig deeper for the coolness of it, but like right around the Tobias book, right?
Book 3,
book 3, like that's when you kind of get it. Well, even around like book 2, like it kind of starts to delve deeper, and I think probably like the authors, right, kind of were understanding what direction they were going around book 3, which is dealing with the interpersonal lives of teenagers.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh yeah, no, okay, this totally makes sense now, that this, because like a tragedy has happened to this kid, and so like now we're going along with this journey. I was like, yeah, I get it now. The middle part though is like definitely where I kind of fell off a little bit. I lost the thread when they went to Atlantis, even though it's my favorite book.
I forgot that they went to Atlantis. That's crazy.
Yep. They just showed up at Atlantis.
Not just Atlantis. Atlantis run by mutant people who want to extract DNA to diversify their breeding pool.
Yeah, that makes sense for a kid's book.
It doesn't have anything to do with aliens. They were just there.
Yeah, they were just
a thing that happened in the world.
Love it.
I love it.
Does it feel like, because for a while I felt bananas because I loved this series as a kid, and then it felt like the world memory hold it. Like nobody was talking about it. Does it feel like Animorphs nostalgia is growing, or am I just finding the Animorphs fandom that's been there all along?
No, I don't think you're wrong. And I think like what happened was that it was like right at the cusp of like, Tyler, you're gonna love this, new metal, where things like this just weren't cool. Like, oh, it was like it felt too fantasy, and so like I think like that and just like all the other things that we liked as children were kind of seen as like, I don't know, nerdy. Do you get that vibe, Tyler? Like, do you kind of see like it went into hibernation in a way that like I think a lot of media does.
Yeah, and for a long time these books were just those silly covers. Like,
yeah,
the people who would talk about them could only reference those covers because they're striking, they're memorable. But those of us who read them knew that there was some deep dark shit in there, and that there has been an online fandom for Animorphs since there's been online, because we're all fucking weirdos. Like right around the time we started doing this, Eric Ravenscraft, he made some really good videos about Animorphs because he's a huge fan. And then the Ben Saint, like 4-hour long Animorph video that he was a part of, those all sort of popped off, and people are like, oh yeah, I remember those. And then now us being in the 18 through 45 demographic, in control of pop culture, we're bringing everything we loved as kids back because, one, there's not really any new properties, and two, we just want to remember a time when the world wasn't choking us to death, or at least we didn't know about it.
Even though Animorphs is an entryway into the world choking you to death.
Yeah. Yeah, at least that's dying in a war is at least better than dying slowly over many years, watching your life get worse.
It's less of a surprise.
Now, where did you find that? Because I assume maybe, Tyler, you had all yours from a kid. Nate, where did you find the books? I found it very difficult to find Animorphs books in stores these days.
There are three methods. Like, one is I'm the big dummy who bought the digital copies from Amazon.
Oh,
so I just read them on my iPad. Tyler went to eBay and bought just like this bulk box of random Animorph books, and he kind of cobbled together the collection.
Mm-hmm.
The secret third way is that they're pretty, and I think they're like almost officially approved at this point, just like online free copies out there.
Yeah, you can reach out to me, pretty much any Animorphs fan. We can get you every single book for free digitally.
Right, like, and it's not really all that enforced. Like, piracy is cool, and I think you should do it. Like from what we've learned about Scholastic, they don't need your money. You should just go and get that.
Yeah, we can give them to you.
You'll figure it out too.
And
you can just find it.
Some of the later series books are so like widely out of print that trying to track down, say, book 52, you'll spend $150 just trying to get it.
Damn.
Yep.
Not me though.
Have you guys fucked with the graphic novels that they made a while back?
Oh, we definitely do.
Yeah,
fuck with the graphic
you
novels.
could say that.
There's a secret in like the third graphic novel. If you look really close at the
page 61, you'll notice two park rangers who look alarmingly like Nate and myself because
is that true?
The artist, yeah, it's absolutely true. The artist like put us in that.
Chris Grind. Give him a name.
Chris Grind, like the fucking incredible artist of these Animorphs graphic novels. Just
like a cool guy.
And yeah, super cool guy. Like. His other work is good too. You should definitely check out Chicken Hair and Time Shifters. They're both good. Camp Nowhere also good, but he's killing these graphic novels. Like he's putting a visual language to Animorphs that I think they need. And
also like he's doing the right thing, which is he's active in the community. He's like, hey, I'm thinking about representing this way. Is this cool?
Yeah,
and like sometimes people. Nerd communities, they do what they do and get up in arms about something specific and he ignores it, right? Like, but also like sometimes he listens. Like, like he's very good at like threading that needle of kind of understanding the emotions behind it, but not necessarily like directly just grabbing scene by scene by scene.
Yeah, because he does have to adapt a lot of it. And I think the changes that he makes serve the story. I think he's really fantastic at what he's doing.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm excited. I used to use Libby to do ebooks through my library, and I have the first two coming in about a week. I'm pumped.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. You're going to enjoy them.
What's the most, so you tapped in, you found this you helped connect a bunch of them. What's the most surprising thing to kind of come out of that? Just how great people are, or?
They have been very nice. Like, we've only met one truly awful person who's a fan of Animorphs, and we bullied him completely offline. So bullying works, one, and two, you don't let fascists into your fandom. No, like we've met a lot of really cool, like fun people that we would not have met otherwise. We even met a bunch of them in person in Atlanta. Like when we mentioned that we had traveled with our soundboard across the world, it was to go hang out with someone we met through the podcast and who have met in person. Like,
yeah, and it's
awesome.
Been surprising that the guest thing worked too.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's so many things that like, because like we didn't like vet these guests. We didn't say like, hey, are you good on video? A lot of times their audio was just garbage. So I definitely polished up my Premiere skills. Or not Premiere, sorry, Audacity. Not Audacity. Audition. God, too much software. Yeah, and like, but like a lot of times people, when they're passionate about something, are interesting.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Like, it was like super easy to just get people to like engage and be enthusiastic and say really funny or messed up things, you know, and like, and as a result, I think the podcast like was successful, because like just everyone involved just fucking loved Animorphs and wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, except
engage
you.
on it. Yeah, well, no, I engaged on it.
Yeah, I know you engaged. I was just giving you shit.
I can always talk about Atlantis all day. Let me go back to the Nartek.
The Nartek and Queen Soko, my goddess. Take my DNA, please.
Now that you as adults have finished the series pretty recently, favorite character, favorite book. It sounds like the Atlantis one is favorite, Nate.
God, yeah, it is, isn't it? That's upsetting. No, it's not, because like honestly, like I think the parts of Animorphs that I really appreciate is like when it just goes buck wild, hokey, and just like just wings it. like the Atlantis book. And Tyler, for picking like favorite characters, I say plural. Got to go with the Helmcrons, baby.
Thank God.
Helmcrons, if you're not aware, are like the tiny little alien creatures about the size that they can just go into your bloodstream and take over your body. They're sick, nasty freaks. I love them.
Yeah, a society of girl bosses too.
That's right. Yeah,
They keep all their men in basements. And they murder their presidents.
yeah. Real answer Tobias, but real answer is Helmcrons.
So, favorite character, favorite book. I gotta do the cliche Tobias book 3.
Yeah.
I think it's the best book in the entire series. I think the messages it contains are still like super effective and prescient for children today. And that's what kept me reading. That's what stuck in my head. That's the autographed cover I have framed in my house up on the wall.
Nice.
Like, I can't pick anything else. I love that book. It's perfect.
Awesome. So Animorphs is done for you guys. Tell me about this Bruce Campbell podcast.
Oh, let's tell you about the Bruce Campbell podcast. So the Bruce Campbell podcast is not an Evil Dead podcast. And
No.
I feel like that there's a lot of confusion there. Like, no, we're here to explore the actor Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And, mainly just kind of go through his journey and figure out who he is as an actor, who he is as a person, and why we're so drawn to Bruce Campbell. Like me and Tyler, we're big Bruce Campbell heads. Like we drove all the way across the state to see him once. He was talking at a college.
Yep.
It was this kind of obsession between us for many, many years. And so the podcast is to figure out why. Why are we obsessed with Bruce Campbell? He's amazing. I mean, he's a talented, wild actor who just gives it his all to whatever he's doing, whether it's like a AAA movie or like a D movie.
Yeah.
Does that exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this podcast. We look at all of his like books, his video games, his TV shows, his movies, anything he's in, because no matter what he's in, he brings this frenetic energy and like he throws everything into it every single time. Like he cannot turn it off, and he's become this sort of weird figure in pop culture, not pop culture, nerd culture, horror culture.
No, it's pop culture.
He's carved out a place in pop culture that is only him, and it's things only he can do, and I think that's worthy of
That sounds
examination.
awesome. When does that come out?
Oh, we are ongoing, baby! It's happening
You're already
right
doing
now.
it. Nice. What's
Yeah.
it called?
Yeah.
It's called the Bruce Campbell Podcast.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, that's SEO friendly. Love it.
we
You gotta be
just
explicit. You gotta know what it's about.
yeah we
Also, Bruce Campbell did not take the name.
No,
so we're gonna take his name.
it's ours.
It's ours now. You
And if
can't
he
have
wants
it.
it, he has to be a guest.
Oh, he's not invited.
Yeah.
He's
no.
not. He cannot come on. Ted Raimi,
Never.
Sam Raimi, anybody who's worked with him, yeah.
Round. So how this works is I'm going to start with asking a question a previous guest asked, not knowing who my future guests would be. Then I have a few speed round questions, and then the final question is you have to make up a question for future guests, each of you. This is from Taylor from, she just changed the name of her show. Taylor from Sisters Assembled says, what book/media do you want to see adapted to a TV show or movie?
Oh, come on.
This seems obvious, and this seems like a trap.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bible.
Cool. I think they've done that one, actually.
Oh, yeah, there was that Caviezel movie. Never mind. I mean, Animorphs.
Who's Animorphs?
I don't know. I'd rather see... I want to see... Yeah, there was. And
And there's been several attempts at a movie.
it's got some gold in it. It's also got a lot of trash. But I think genuine answer, I will say, hear me out. Showtime miniseries, Infinite Jest.
Okay. I can see them tempting.
I'll buy it and never watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
What you got, Nate?
I'll give a real answer as opposed to your fake garbage answer.
There we go. Good.
All right, because adaptations are such a wild thing to me. Because don't adapt Animorphs, right? They're books, and I think they should remain as books. Because I think that they were constructed as books, and like graphic novels make sense, right? But they're ultimately like a different thing.
Yeah.
You kind of get away from the essence a little bit. So instead, if we're doing adaptation, I'm going to pick something that's impossible. House of Leaves.
Ooh,
Miniseries.
Good one.
Right?
Yeah.
And just make it this like weird art project, right? This thing that really can't be adapted, right? Like I think by design, House of Leaves, you can't adapt it. If you're familiar with it, like pages turn upside down or like footnotes are like 30 pages long. It's a wild book. You should read it. But that is my choice.
That is an interesting. Both of you chose unadaptable properties, and I love what that says about you.
Damn right.
Yep.
Ambitious, I think. Now we'll get to some easier questions. First nerd thing you bought with your own money.
Scarface DVDs and a Ghostbusters 2-pack.
X-Men trading cards. Yeah, I got one foil of Colossus, actually.
Oh, yeah. I guess we have to count that, huh? Yeah, I was big into those Marvel trading cards.
Yeah.
That's how I got to know the
the
Hildebrands, man.
masterpieces.
Yeah.
God, I wish I had those. They're probably worth money.
Okay.
I wouldn't sell them, though.
One of the first things I truly bought was the clear Venom action figure from KB Toys in the mall.
Wait, clear?
Yeah, he
Why
was
is it
clear because he was in stealth mode. He was invisible.
Nice.
That sucks as an action figure.
If you look up clear Venom action figure, it
First
fucking
fictional
ruled.
crush / current fictional crush.
Let's see here. Lewis from RoboCop. RoboCop's partner.
God, I'm going to give like such a cool answer that feels wrong. Aeon Flux.
Oh, good one.
Right?
That is a cool
Good one.
answer.
What about current, Nate?
Current Nate. Also Aeon Flux. No. I mean, kind of. Let me think of Lady Dimitrescu. Or how do you say that last name?
Dimitrescu.
Dimitrescu, yeah. Resident Evil 7 lady. Step on my head,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Oh, yeah.
Crush me like a melon.
God, that's good. Let's see here. For me, I'm gonna go with the lead from Barbarian, like the
Wait, the milk monster?
not the milk monster, that lady, and also the Pennywise. Like their chemistry was wild, and that it was threatening.
Okay.
Like I like watching that dynamic where it's like it's leading one way, but it's also kind of threatening.
I mean, did you want to be like the third in that?
just watch.
Which fictional character do you think you could make into a cake? Or make a cake in the shape of? Not like...
Oh,
bake
okay.
something into a
It's like, ooh, who do I want to murder? SpongeBob SquarePants. He's square.
Yeah.
Fictional character? I'm going to go Toad. I think Toad has a good cake shape.
I was thinking of Frog from Chrono Trigger, not Mario.
No, I was actually talking about Toad from X-Men, remember?
Oh, hey, Nate, do you know what happens to a frog when it gets hit by a lightning bolt?
Love it. Thank you, David Hayter.
If you
I'm
could
going
change
with Toad.
any TV show by making the lead character a baby, but the plot stays the same, what TV show and character did you choose?
First season, True Detective.
Wow. What if it was a baby killing all those children?
What if it was a baby?
How about House of the Dragon, except Rhaenyra's a baby?
Ew.
That would make a lot of those sex scenes really bad.
Yeah, no, it's
show.
awful. It's not good.
I don't like that. We'll make the king a baby in House of the Dragon. What if the king was dying of syphilis when it was a baby?
Last question before you have to come up with a question for a guest. Last truly great thing you watched, or because you have your show was about books, last truly great thing you read, you can choose.
I'm going to go with the movie Babylon. Now, stay with me. It's a 3-hour-long epic starring Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. And if you're not sold after the first 8 minutes, the movie's not for you, because the movie starts with an immigrant pushing an elephant up to a hill because it's the roaring 20s and the rich guy wanted an elephant at his party, and the elephant has diarrhea all over the main character. And it shoots all over the camera. It shoots all over everything. It's the first 7 minutes of the movie, and the movie just goes and continues to top itself from there. It's got an incredible performance from Tobey Maguire as a creepy, drug-addled kingpin who leads them down into an underground sex dungeon where a muscle man eats a rat. a live rat.
I'm in.
Go watch Babylon.
Okay. Yeah, I've thought about this. Demon City.
Oh.
The reason why is that Demon City, I think that it's hard to find, which means that's how you know it's good, right? Like it's near impossible to find.
Live action, not the anime.
Yeah, live action, not the anime. There's this live action movie called Demon City. And I think the only really way to kind of sell somebody on it is that there's a scene where all these demons are kind of hanging out. And this one demon is playing a pinball machine that's a person.
Oh, fun.
Quite practical effects. It's from the early
practical effects. Yeah,
from
it's
the early 90s.
The early
sounds awesome.
90s, schlock is all hell. Definitely like wire foo all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's very, very latexy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it. All right, finally, question for the next guest.
What piece of media that everyone loves that you hate?
I like that.
I like that anger.
Yeah,
No Way Home for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Famously, No Way Home. We actively dislike No Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home is a cancer on movies, and I will defend that if you come and fight me for it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Do you want it pop culture related or just anything?
It could be anything.
Okay. Apart from all the normal ways, like comfortably at home surrounded by loved ones, how do you want to die?
I like that. It'll take the next interview in a different
good.
direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you both. The final actual question, where can people find your shit?
We hang around Twitter.
Yeah.
So, at Anamorphine Time or at Brucey Pod. You can find the podcast on where podcasts are sold.
Everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
We're dumping everything everywhere. You can't stop us.
Yep.
You can find me personally at Baitnoid on Twitter. You can find Tyler at Bear Nurse on Twitter.
Because I'm a big hairy guy who's also a nurse.
Yeah, it checks out. Anamorphine Time, it's still up. It ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
The Bruce Campbell podcast, also up, ain't going anywhere, and
No.
we release every other week.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much fun.
Yeah, we can't stop.
Hey, thank you again. It was great to meet you guys. Thanks for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with me.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been a blast.
Yeah, we apologize for all the. I apologize for Tyler.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about the Bible.
We are back from that interview. Mike, 10 out of 10. Great interview.
Thank you.
Absolutely loved it. It is now the end of the show, though, so I got to talk about some websites. And when I say I got to talk about some websites, I absolutely mean Mike has to talk about some websites. Mike, tell me about them, boys.
I'm Mike.
You're Mike.
Okay, first, if you want a website, you should go to our friends who make websites at cybersprout.net. Second, if you like the shit we do and you want more of our shit, you go to popfilter.co. That's just co, popfilter.co. Throw a little /Amazon on the back of that. That's how you shop at Amazon now, motherfucker. popfilter.co/Amazon. Do you want even more of the things we do, you little weirdo? You go to patreon.com/yourpopfilter. You pick a tier, you help support us directly, and you get even more of our voices in your ears, you fucking freak. You like that? Is that what you wanted, Cassie?
I guess. I didn't know you were going to come after all of us so hard, but you did get the information across, so I guess that is what I wanted. Thank you, Mike. We also have another show on the network, and Ryan, can you please tell me about that show?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the world of Movie of the Year. What if TV was... Hold on. Bear with me here. Instead of being like an hour or 30 minutes of bullshittily shot bullshit with screenplays that are bad and cameras that are stupid, what if there was like this world where you can go into and like they made like this 2-hour perfect piece of art? That's what Movie of the Year covers. Right now we're working on 1973, where every movie that comes out is like this perfect, low-budget, sweet-ass, well-dressed, well-set, perfect piece of sexless porn. That's
wants
how I
to
would
fuck
describe
movies.
1973.
I know, damn.
Every movie is equal and wonderful, and I love it. Movie of the Year, please follow, subscribe, rate, review.
Thank you. We also have social media. Caitlin, I'm going to take this one away from you. I am going to give it back to Mike because there's breaking news. We got a new social media.
Yeah, we're on Blueski at popfilter. We've had one bloof so far, or skeet. That's what they call them. We've skeeted once.
We've skeeted once. A bloof coming out soon, I'm sure.
And we've skeeted once, and then there will be bloofs. Check us out at Pop Filter on Blue Ski. If you get the invite code, hey, let me know if you need one, and I'll get you one. Where can you let me know if you can't bloof us? Instagram at Your Pop Filter. DM us there. We're not on Threads yet, but I'm sure we will. Finally, other Twitter clones that will die soon, or we can get on them.
Can't wait to make these short profiles. You can also reach out through email. Our email will never die unless we don't check it. Then in that case, it kind of dies. That's contact@popfilter.co. You can reach out to us that way. Next week, you guys, it's going to be a big episode because we are going to say goodbye to Superman and Lois, or Superman and Lois is dead, and we're going to long live with Adventures with Superman. For
my adventures with Superman.
Your adventures? Mike's adventures. My adventures. What? Fuck off, bro. For Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For Caitlin, I'm Mia. For me, I'm Mia. Bye, everyone.